think I better stay there. I'm sounding like your ma when she's got something shoved up the backside, kid, aren't I? Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Kieran saying, do a freestyle. What to, like that? You want me to do a freestyle to Hallelujah? Sort it, kid. Sort your head out loud. Christian teacher fights dismissal. Appeal court to rule on the sacking over posts criticising LGBT education. So now they're sacking teachers. So every other single teacher is now shook. They don't want to lose their payments for their mortgage, for their family homes, for everything they've ever depended on through their wages as a teacher. So now when they get told to shut up and do as you're told, they're shutting up and doing as they're told. Because they don't want to lose that salary. And that's what most people do when they get threatened with losing their jobs. Shut up and get on with it. So yeah, hallelujah. You know. I was meant to do a podcast yesterday, weren't I, for Camelfoot, some kid from Manny. And I was all ready to go and that. Got me gym done, got myself ready to go. Just about to get in an Uber to get to the train station. They paid for it, obviously. But then I checked the area out and wow. You've got to take some precautions, haven't you? Now he's managed to get a studio smack bang by Man City's ground. But it's been run down, just warehouses all over the gaff, empty. And smack bang in the middle of that industrial estate and all them old buildings is this little podcast. I was thinking, hang on, podcast 4 o'clock, 2 hours, hour later, you think I'm coming out of there in the pitch black? Sorry kid, I'm not coming. Yeah, it's the destination, lad. I can't be safe in that area. It's not being a house. You know, why aren't I going to assess it that way? Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason I've got to assess it that way, because if I were to come out of there and there was a van outside, I'm finished. Finished, took to a dark room, put on a dark web. Yes, Julie. Hallelujah, praise Jehovah, says Bell. You know that, like. I don't know what the Jehovah is though. Jehovah. Is that another word for Jesus? Or is Jehovah someone that witnessed what Jesus went through? How many of you are Jehovah's Witnesses when you're seeing me go through what I'm going through? So we're all Jehovah's Witnesses, aren't we? You know, if we replicate the body of Christ, we must all have Jehovah's Witnesses, mustn't we? Hey oh, hey oh. Nice one, Lynn's last, sending me that positivity. Thanks, mate. Everyone else that's been liking the feed and sending me little gifts and all that. You know what it's like on my page now. If you've gifted big in this, you probably get put on my page. So I hope you don't mind, you know, getting tagged on my page. Some of you, I don't know what's happening when you're on my page. What used to happen when so you look at me and you probably see me pages and think, he doesn't follow no one. Who the f*** does he think he is? It's not like that. I don't follow no one because when I follow someone, the dirty drug dealing rats start targeting them. So I'm getting a message off people I'm following. The people are saying, I'm just going, I just won't follow you, mate. It's like me moderators when I get moderators on my live feeds. I get some moderators in. No, don't want no moderators in. Why? Because they get targeted. My bird's okay. She knows what I'm dealing with. She knows what I'm about. But for you who are just watching me on TikTok, you start getting loads of misinformation sent to you and messages about me, and it makes you think twice about engaging with me. Do you understand? But that's what they've always done to me. You know, sort of like sabotage me network of people, so I'm isolated. That's what they've done to me over the years. Because you can't blame people, can you? You know, when people have been sat next to me or stood next to me, they've been shot dead or put in comas. So you can't You know, I get loads of legitimate people who've just popped onto me social media 6 months ago and haven't got a clue about my background, and they're all boss with me. Opportunities are coming, we're having decent conversations, everything's pure and clean, and then they'll hear something about my past. Bang, they just completely change their opinion on me because of what's gone on in the past and what I've said 3 years ago on social media like that, you know. So I'll have people relating to me on this end, bigging me up. Then a week later, I'll speak about something else and they'll just think and switch on me. That fast. Just that fast. Because I've said something about something he didn't like. But when I was saying things about what all them didn't like, he was loving it. But the minute I've said something about what he doesn't like, he's not loving it now and switching. It's weird out there. I'm not arsed. You're hard if you're hard. You get offended, you get offended. If you feel for me, you feel for me. If you're hating for me, you're hating for me. Either way, you're thinking of me. You know, you might as well think good of me, isn't it? Instead of sitting there, start thinking of me and your head's battered off it. That's what happens when you hate. When you're full of hate, you'll get that person you hate in your mind and your day's finished. Isn't it? Even when you're full of hate and you've got that and he walks past, your day's just in a mess, or even for an hour you're in a mess. It's because you've seen him. So imagine how many people hate me. There's not that many, you know. There's not that many, mate. I'd say there's 100 people that hate me in Liverpool. No, let's go a bit broader than that. Let's say about 350 people hate me in Liverpool. Why? Because I've absolutely destroyed them and their families. So they're entitled to, aren't they? You know, but then there's 10,000 people that love me. And the love will always outweigh the hate people. And when you get people screaming, I thrive on hate, well, you're not going nowhere. You're eventually going to crumble. Because not everyone's going to hate you all your life. So what happens when you've got no hate? You've got no self-motivation because you've been letting them haters motivate you from years ago. So if I'm sitting here, not getting done, and I'm getting hated, and I start using that hatred as a way to motivate me, I'm just a bellend. You need to be able to motivate yourself, haters. Their intention is to jeopardise you, give you lack of motivation, give you lack of inspiration, give you lack of goals, give you lack of purpose, lack of direction. That's what them haters want to do to you. They want to knock you off your path. They don't want you going to the places that you're definitely going to go to if you avoid it. You avoid that shower, you're going places. You engage with that shower, you're still going places. It'll just take you longer to get there. Like me. You know, I'm engaging with this thing I've done for 8 years. If you hadn't been, I'd be in a completely different place right now. But I'm still going there. It's just taking me slower. It's a long, hard road when you're by yourself. It's alright when you're in a car with loads of yous. Do you understand what I'm saying to yous, people? When you're a proper lone wolf, when you are by yourself 24/7 and you're dealing with everything on yourself, it's a long road. Very long road. But if I'm here with a pack of wolves around me, everything's 10 times easier. I don't have to do half of the things that I've got to do because they're doing them for me. So everything that's taken me 24 hours is all of a sudden taking me 6 hours. You know, it's good of a night, innit? It's normally bored, aren't we? So to just get on here for a few hours of a night, sweet, aren't we? Hey, it'll only get better, as I keep saying. When I stop engaging with them, it's like I've got a power boost. At the moment, I'm engaging them. I'm not asked at the moment. I'm in my first year, 10-year plan. I've basically got 16 months to doss around. Obviously, I'm not dossing around. I'm still pushing the message out, still getting on the lives and that. But, you know, I can just scream about them all I want, name and shame them all I want. And when I decide to just shut up about them, then I'll start going. At the moment, I'm latching onto it. I'm not flying because I'm clicking onto this. I'm happy. I'm happy sitting here exposing knobheads in Liverpool who are dishing drugs and harming children and destroying families. I'm happy to do that for the next 16 months. You will see it. You know, when my next 10-year plan kicks in, none of them are even getting, they don't even get thought about. I only reply when you mention them on here. But 10 years, the next 10-year plan, lads, completely different. Completely different. You won't even know where I've gone. You won't even know where I am. The next 10-year plan. Do you understand what I'm saying? You'll hear of the success. You'll see me on your telly. But you won't know where the I am. Trust me on that, people. When you know what you're doing, when you've got a goal to work towards, nothing can faze you, people. You embrace all the process. The majority of that process is lonely, is being poor, is being financially, not well. All that kicks in when you're going through what I'm going through. But it pays off in the end game. In the end game. That's what it's all about, the end game. If you're 27 now, what's your end game, kid? Have you even thought of it? Have you thought how to get there? Have you thought what moves you've got to make? What people you've got to network with to get there? Because you're not getting there by yourself, lad. No one does. Life is a team effort, whether you like it or not. You can't go through life without someone helping you along the way. Definitely. That's one thing I've learnt. I've refused help upon help upon help upon help for years and years and years since I've got out of custody. And then I just give in. I had to get off my horse. When people are offering me help, when people are offering me money, when people are offering me food, take it. I was getting told that off all these podcasts. Someone's just offered me this there. Take it. Nah, I feel a cunt. Take everything you get offered, Darren. This is what they're telling me. I'm like that. And then a few years later, I thought, you know what, I just need to start taking these offers of kindness. Because if you refuse them offers of kindness, they'll probably dry up. So if someone's coming with an offer of kindness, accept it, embrace it, and show them that you're grateful for it. If you're able to pass a bit of that kindness on, pass it on, and it'll come back to you. Don't wake up every morning and think to yourself, right, I'm deliberately going to go out and be kind because I want karma to be kind to me. It doesn't work like that. It's not a deliberate act. It's got to come freely, naturally. So I'm walking down the street like I was yesterday, like I do most times, and I see a lot of old people, and I've got a brolly and she hasn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now what I've done on the slide, because when you offer most people, you're okay, love, do you want to get under me brolly? They say no. All shook, muscly man, Scouse accent. So we just sneak up next to her and walk with her. And when it's time for me to leave, they go, "You alright, love? Do you want this umbrella? How far have you got to go?" That's just an act of kindness. That's not me waking up, seeing that old woman and going, I know I need some good karma. Let me go and offer her my brolly. It's not natural, it's not going to work that way. Does that make sense to you, no? It's like kindness can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You know, you can have that woman who you wouldn't bat an eyelid and she's the kindest person in the room. And just because you can doesn't mean you're weak. Just because you can doesn't mean you're stupid neither. And a lot of us for some reason think when you're being kind, when you're approachable, when you're easy to talk to, that you're weak. They haven't got a clue, have they? They haven't got a clue. When you're being kind, you're sharing love. Doesn't matter if you're sharing that £1,000 cash. Your intention is to send the gift so your life gets better or your conditions are better. That's love and care. Even when you've got people looking after you and they're not giving you cash and they're giving you food. But you'll get some people sitting there fuming that they're not getting cash. What are you fuming for, lad? Why are you fuming that these gifts aren't cash? What do you need cash for? Someone sends me food, I embrace it better than cash. When people send me money behind the scenes, the first thing I do is go and buy food. So it's like they're buying me food. It's similar to that, it's just an easier way of, instead of asking for my address and then getting onto as the delivery phone line and them sending me shopping. It's just easier and convenient for them to send me some dough and let me go down the Asda to get me out of my room, because that's what it does. You know, if I've got nothing to do, I stay in this room. I'm alright with it, I'm not moaning about it. But when I've got something to do, I'm out the room. When there's nothing to do, I'm in the room. And just me having to go to get me meals for the day will get me out of my room for 3 or 4 hours. Just going to get me food for the day will keep me out of my room for 4 hours. And it's a good thing that way. See, so if you see people that are struggling and they can't handle the isolation, they end up in that isolation and they don't know how to get out, and there's nothing to go out for. So if you know anyone like that, give them a reason to get up and get out. If you got food in your fridge, if you got, show me. No, you haven't. There's 20 quid, go to the shops. Just that there will break his depressive psyche. Honest to God, trust me, lad. I've been locked in a room with nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm just going deeper into the darkness, deeper into the abyss. On my way out, you know, like 4 or 5 days in dark, deep depression. No food in the cupboards, having to live on what I can scrape. And then someone will pop up. Hi Darren, you okay? Normally Jojo. Popped on years ago, I can be in some mad up there place and a message will come through. You okay Darren, do you need anything? Are you sure you've got food? And I'll just send a picture of my fridge. And that's all they need to see, lad. Straight away, you better go down the shop and get that fridge stocked up right now. I'll go and stock the fridge up and show them a picture. But that little there just snapped me out of a 5-day depression and keeps me out of it for weeks, because it's like someone cares. Someone does check on me. Someone is concerned about my health, whether I'm eating right, whether I'm sleeping. Do you understand? There's a lot of men and women out there that feel like they're just alone and no one cares for them. And they've been in that room now for a week and no one's even rang the phone or knocked at the door. And it makes them feel useless, makes them feel unwanted, unloved. And we all know what them feelings do to you, don't we? You're only going to go one way with them sort of feelings and them thoughts, especially when you're sat by yourself in them lonely places. So you need to, if you can, identify them people. I see them all the time in this block. There's loads of people in these sort of accommodations. Only on my land, and you know, love thy neighbour. They're all over the block, but I only knock at my neighbours' doors. You know, sometimes I'll get an extra meal and go, yeah, I've got a scranny here for you, because I know he's been in that room for 3 days, hasn't moved. That's what little Mo's like. Little Muslim kid's been in there for 3 years. Didn't come out of his room. Used to look at me through his door like that when I was coming out with my thing. I was thinking, what's wrong with this one kid? I think he fell out with his family, and when you get kicked out of a Muslim family, basically, if you bring shame or disgrace upon your father in that sort of culture, you can get off from your family. Woman or girl, just kicked right out of the family, completely disowned. And you'll see loads of people, and it destroys them, you know. Like my man has a full-time job, smashing it, lived in his parents' house as they do, all got nice dough. I think he smoked drugs or something, and that was enough for the family to kick him out and get away from us. You're not bringing that shame to our house. Just because he started smoking drugs or something, leave him off. On the back of him getting off from his family, he lost his job, lost everything about him, his purpose, his confidence. He had no one to speak to. The people that he loved the most have just kicked him out, don't want to see him no more, ignoring him. So when I've landed here, I'm getting to know people on the land, and I'm thinking, who's in that end room? who's in that end room? They always hear him scuffling around at mad hours, knowing no one's about. So I've spotted him spying on me one day. I said, hey, come here. And he slammed the door dead fast. Like a victim type thing. So I just went to the door, open your door, lad, what's up with you? Open the door, it just stunk. Dead dark. The heat on full blast. He stunk of BO. Hadn't washed or still a f***ing mess. I've just went, I'll be back in a minute, lad. Went in his pad, opened his blinds, opened his windows, started scrubbing everything, getting it all clean. Said, you need to sort it out, lad. Come in the shop with me now. Bang, dragged him out, basically forced him out the room. Not picked him up and physically dragged him, just go, no, you're coming. I'm not taking no for an answer, you're coming. And he's walking down the shopping centre with me, looking rough, and you can tell he's feeling awkward because he hasn't been out that room for time. But that was what needed it. It needed that to break that psyche he was stuck in. Now, here we are a year later. Every morning I see him up, washed, showered, going out the door. Every morning. He'll knock on my door sometimes now. You alright, Daz? I haven't seen you for a few days. He's doing it to me. He's now checking on me the way I was checking on him. And there's loads of people like that in your street. Look at that house that you've never seen anyone walking in and out of. They're the same thing. They're coming out in the shadows, getting what they need and then locking in. It's not good for them. Majority of them are pensioners who's lost a loved one. You know, like your granddad lost his nan. And he's just stuck in that dungeon going to it. And grandparents and sons forget about them, you know. It's horrible what's going on in society, isn't it? Horrible, mate. I think that comes with you when you're a kid, doesn't it? You're either a good kid or you're not, aren't you? You've either got empathy or you haven't. I used to always do the gardens for the old women on our estate. We had loads of old women on our estate when we first moved on, and they were single old women. They had sons and daughters who'd come every so often from wherever they lived. But the majority of the time you just seen the front gardens getting stale and, you know, all little going on. They used to be able to go to the shop every day, and all of a sudden you see them, you wonder why aren't they going to the shop all of a sudden. So I was that kid that seen an opportunity. Yeah, there was just an opportunity to make a few quid. But at the same time, you're checking up on these people. You're alright, Edie? Do you want me to do your garden for you? Oh yes, please, Darren. Can you go to shop for me as well while you're here? Yes, sound, Edie. Spend a little 2 hours round the little old woman on our estate there. She gives me like £1 or £1.50. Happy days. I'm not in school. I've just earned £1.50. And there was loads of little gardens on our estate that I'd done. So they'd sort of expect us. You know what it's like when you've got an estate and you've got 5 little boys who are brothers. All the women don't, oh look, there's the G's, there's the little boys, look at the blue eyes, oh look at his cheeks. It always used to happen to me like that. So I was like a little chunky kid, me. You know. Little chunky kid with bright blue eyes and a white afro. A white afro, you know. Do you know what a white afro is? See the way your hair is thin and when it grows it'll drop. Your hair will drop and like give you a short back and sides and all this. Mine just goes. It's the same hair. Same hair as yours, that white hair you've got there. But it sticks up like this, like I've got static in my brain and all my hair's just walking around with a white afro. So when I grow my hair, it's like a white afro. Honest to God, goes like that. So when I let my hair grow years ago, and I got my head down, I had one of them heads that I'd end up with a big flat thing here, and everything else would be round. You know where my head was? Honest to God, I'm not lying, lad. Serious, you know, kiddo. I'm full of electric. full of electric. I know. Yes, Paul Kayla, Astoria 111. Nice one, mate. Haha, relatable, says Megan Chester. There you go, yeah. Full of power I am, lad. Full of power. Something you will never exist, Michael. Mike Bike 28, he called himself. What in helmet is there? Hey. Mike the Bike. Well, get on your bike, lad, and leg it. No one gives a f*** you in your family anymore. You're all has-beens. Yes, Linz. Terry La. Lynn. Mel. Wee Cutie. Mode. Danielle Crowley. Yeah, my little daughter's off to Colamendi today. Yes, John Mills, Mel. Well, my stepdaughter. But I don't feel like leaving her house, so I just call her my daughter. I always remind her who her dad is. Don't use worry, use soft air chance. She knows who her dad is. She knows who her stepfather is. Yes, Laura Rose. Parky lad. So she's off. And I'm sitting here nervous. Colamendi. Yes, KDD, Paul. So all of a sudden, she can go to Colamendi. It's going to cost us this much, son, let's pay it. And then all last week I'm seeing reports about what used to happen in Colamendi. Historical this, historical, I'm thinking. And now I'm thinking, what if the coach crashes? And now I'm thinking, what if there's a lone wolf just pops up in there and starts hacking the kids and that? And everything that comes with that. Has she got a phone? Has she got money in case there's an emergency? Has she got... Now I'm just sat here like this, counting the clock till she gets back. It's an experience though, innit? You can't like say no to it, can you, when a best mate's going? Well, you can. You know, you should. Just because the best mate's going doesn't mean, oh yeah, go on, you can go then. You don't know what the best mate's doing. But obviously at this age, you know, 6, 7, 8, they're like proper friendship then, isn't it? You know, when the kids, it's a proper friendship, isn't it? There's no jealousy over the boyfriend or jealousy over this or envy. No, there's nothing there with them. It's just pure friendship. Yeah, it should be sound, like. That's just me. I think every dad goes through that sort of process of worrying, don't they? If you don't, there's something wrong with you. You know, if you can just throw your kid in some van there and go, yeah, see you in 2 weeks, and forget it. Wow. Get off the drugs. Come off the drugs straight away, lad, if that's the way you are. If you're like that with your kids, you're definitely on drugs. That's what I meant by get off the drugs if you are. Wonder what's happened round there anyway. So I'm like 20 minutes from the gym. And about 5 minutes from the gym, there was a crime scene. Have you seen it on my TikTok? Definitely a murder. Definitely a murder. So I'm just gonna see what's happening with that. I might go round and have a little nosy. And I love that type, like a reporter, and I like doing that type of shite. You know, turning up on the scenes of crime and going, hi, Darren Gee, L5 alive on the city of Birmingham. I'm in attendance at a murder scene. I've seen a few mad incidents on my doorstep in this Birmingham, people. I was walking down the street, again going towards the gym, and I just heard this car revving the fall out of itself, comes round the corner. There's a lad on a mountain bike with his bird. And this car's going for him. He moves, the car goes right over his girlfriend. And she's stuck. So now the cars had to reverse back and drive away. Mad seeing that. Hopefully she survived, but she was stretchered off, mate. They couldn't move her. She had all that neck straps in and all, you know, to do with her spine in case it snapped. It's off here in Birmingham, lad. It's dangerous up here, people. Dangerous, mate. I love it, like. But you know, it's like every city, it's dangerous, isn't it? Danger, danger, lad, especially where I am. Perry Bar, Aston. So I'm like, I can walk to Aston Villa's ground from my front door and it'll take me 5 minutes. Everyone knows where I live, the people that want to get me. They put dress out on social media all the time, don't they? So what I used to do is just move. Not on a house thing, just thinking, you know what? Might as well just move, saves me door getting weighed in and getting robbed on my room or whatever. But this time I just thought, how many times have you said you're coming through my door and you haven't? I'm prepped for if you do. Do you understand what you know how I'm at? I authorise everything. So if I'm sat here of a night and 3 heads turn up at my door, what's the worst that can happen? I've already put myself in that position, mate. I know exactly what they're going to do. It's going to leave DNA all over the gaff. Your DNA. If I die, I die. Your DNA is going to be all over the place, mate. Trust me. You won't get away with it. And that's the mindset. Always has been. You come through my door, make sure you're ready. You get people saying, I'm ready to die. Are you? Are you ready to die, kids? Ah, yeah. Stop talking, you shite, mate. But I am. I'm sat here in the full knowledge that if my door goes in, I'm dead that day. It won't go in. My door won't go in. You won't get 3 drug dealers from Liverpool coming through my door. You won't get 3 gangsters from Liverpool coming through my door. You won't even get three of the gamers kids in Liverpool weighing my door in and coming in. You just won't. And this isn't me being a big head or nothing like this. Is telling you how it is. I'm telling you how it is. I'm not exaggerating, not trying to make myself out to be something I'm not. I'm telling you straight, none of them weasels will come near my front door. They tried and got chased, and they were the gamers kids they could get their hands on. That's what they do, they get the gamers kids they can get their hands on to try and get you, and nick themselves as well. You see, the kids these days, they're dealing with a different type of character. You know, they used to kick in your door in with guns. That's what they used to do. And used to running everywhere they go, they're heavy with weapon. That's why they're confident. That's why they're brave. Everywhere they go, there's a weapon. You get them in a position where they've got no access to weapons, or the weapons aren't making a difference to you. That's it. It's over for them. The arse falls right out of them. Most of these kids haven't participated in real violence. You know, they're not violent individuals. Yeah, anyone can bang a gun, can't they? You know, you can have the politest, quietest lad down the road and he'll squeeze a trigger on a gun. It means none, doesn't mean you're a big, naughty, violent criminal. Just means you're a rat with a gun in your hands. That's all it is. When they experience real violence, they're traumatised for the rest of their lives, mate. They can't hack it. They bow with the game and everything. Honest to God, they run away from the game when they've suffered properly. Yes, Lisa. So look, what I mean by the not violence is exactly what I say. You haven't got to be a sick mother to squeeze a trigger on a gun. You know, you can squeeze it from a mile away and think you're brave. You can squeeze it from up front and think you can hit, man. But the minute you haven't got that gun in your hand, you're a fragile piece of who's weaker. So I make the example all the time, and this is what I say. Look, a kid can run up now, bang a bullet in the back of your head and cough. Doesn't mean he's been violent. Yeah, he's dangerous because he's got a gun in his hand, but it doesn't mean he's a violent individual. Whereas if that same kid ran up with a claw hammer and stove your mandible until it was shattered and shattered your cranium, well then you know you're dealing with a violent individual here, aren't you? You know, all the blood and gore is bothering this kid. He's still whacking you when he's got your blood splatting up his face. That's a violent kid. And there's not many of them. And when they show their ugly faces, all them other kids know what time it is. Yeah. And that's the difference between me and you. That's the difference between me and you, lad. If your leg gets stuck by a ligament, I'll chew it off with my teeth. Moderator Lady G baby is in the house. You know, if it came to the crunch and I had to eat a human being to survive, I would you? Where would you start? I reckon I'd go for the calf muscle. If you had no option but to eat someone, I reckon I'd start with the calf. Therefore the calves. I think I'll go from the calves to the thighs, to the tries, to the buys, and then leave the best to the last, don't you? The gluteus maximus. That's what it's called, your bum. The gluteus maximus. That's what your bum cheeks are called. Gluteus maximus. Mad, isn't it? Every muscle and every bone on your body is named after a Greek god. Mad that, isn't it? Every single bone and muscle on your body is named after a Greek god. So you've got your trapezes. Do you know what your trapezes is? Yeah, your traps. Them muscles. Back muscles. People say the soldier muscles, but they just haven't got a clue. Your trapezes are your back muscles. Then you've got your latimus dorsi. Do you know what they are? Yeah, your lats. You've got your fibula and your tibula. Do you know where they are? They're your shin bones. Do you know where your patella is? Do you know what your patella is? Your patella is your kneecap. You see that circle of bone on your knee? That's your patella. You all know what your cranium is, don't you? Your skull. You all know what your lower mandible is, don't you? Mandible, jaw. Yeah, the femur. The femur is the biggest bone in the body, people. The femur is the thigh bone. The biggest bone in your body. Do you read books? I haven't read no books for years, mate. Got one there to read when I'm relaxed enough to read. It's only me, Jumbo. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Got half an hour left on the feed, people. Well, it took me to 5 hours. I read the 48 laws. I've read that, mate. 48 rules of power. I don't know what you're on about 48 laws. Is there such thing as 48? Look. I've had these for years.
Serve our country and our people.
33 strategies of war.
Your leader, I will serve our country. I will lead with conviction. I will
48 rules of power.
My mission is the prosperity and happiness of the British people. Together,
And mastery. I've got this book that I haven't read yet. Activate Your Macabre, which is basically your chakras, your energy, the spiritual aspect of life. Power is some read, says Jambo. 33 Strategies of War is the best book. Out of all them, Art of War by Sun Tzu, 48 Rules of Power, Principles and Bold Politics, all that. The Art of Seduction. All them books, mate. 50 Laws by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. Robert Greene's the one that wrote 33 Strategies of War, 48 Rules of Power, all them books you've just seen there, Mastery. The author of them is Robert Greene. And he done a book with 50 Cent. Do you remember? He's got a book on 50 Cent. The Law of 50 or something. Well, he's the only one we're reading from, that Robert Greene basically, mate. And out of all his books, out of every book he's ever done, out of all them, you know, books of strategies and tactics and all that, the 33 Strategies of War is everything you need to negotiate your way through life. And although it's all historical, everything, every strategy in there can be implemented within your life today. Every single strategy in that 33 Strategies of War, you can implement in your life as soon as you've read it. The advice I've always give people though, because I've been reading them for years and years, and you know, when I first went into prison, I was given one by someone, and then I always tell them, read one strategy or maybe two and then put the book down. That's what I always tell them now. Read one strategy or maybe two and then put that book down till tomorrow. Don't think you can read that book like a storybook. If you read that like a storybook, you won't come out in the room and you'll think everyone's trying to kill you. Honest, if you read that book, it can either be the best thing you've ever read, or it can be the worst thing you've ever read in your life. Why? Because it can make you on the ball. You'll understand every strategy and every method of what's coming at you, and you won't be sitting there like a paranoid schizophrenic. If you're not on the ball and you read that book, you'll end your mates off, your bed off, sitting in that room, putting sellotape over your plug holes, thinking your clock has got a camera in it. Honest to God, it's what them books can do to you. It's like getting wound up in conspiracy theories. It's the same sort of effect. If you go too deep in conspiracy theories, you're gone. You're not coming back unless someone breaks your jaw or something 10 years down the line. So when you're delving into this conspiracy, be very careful. You know, don't read it like it's a fictional story, because it'll send your head gone, mate. I've been in jail and I've seen some scousers start reading them conspiracy books, mate. Before you know it, the shook thinks the screws are spying on them for the feds outside. And you know if the kid's got a graft outside still, he's reading that conspiracy. Wow. He's just on a fast one. They're all crazy in there. The slugging blade. It's mad in there, you know, people. It's mad in jail, mate. You got people plugging weapons and that. I know lads that were plugging 3 times a day. And when you plug that 3 times a day, you've got to take that out 3 times a day. And if you're doing that for a full year, not even a year, you only need 3 months of that, you're damaged, mate. You are damaged. Your mind's gone through a turn of events that's made you batty and you don't even understand it. Just because it's not my man with his length going into you doesn't mean you're not batty, lad. You're batty, mate, if you've been slugging all your life in prison. Bent as crooked. And you're getting them feelings, mate. There's no way you're getting away from it. You just can't get away from what you've done to yourself, lad. Honest to God. You have got birds that refuse to take it on the flower, but will take it into... because they enjoyed it when it happened. They enjoyed the sensation when it happened. You know, when them lads are slugging phones every blue moon, every 2 minutes, every dinner time, lunchtime, eventually they're going to get that little... Defo. Dirty, aren't they? Dirty, lad. Jail's dirty, you know. Jail's full of dirty men, mate. Not all of them. You know, some men go in jail and don't touch themselves. Muslims don't touch themselves. Every Muslim kid that I know never abuses themselves, ever. You know, most Muslim kids, they wet dream. And I don't mean piss the bed, I mean proper wet dream. That's fact, that, you know. Fact, mate. You won't get no. As far as I know, I've never seen no Muslim kid running around looking for pornographic videos. They don't even have pictures of faces on the walls, Muslim brothers, like that. You won't have a poster on a wall of Ronaldo or something on any Muslim kid's wall. They're just not into icons. And one thing they definitely don't do is abuse themselves when they're in jail. Honest to God. They have wet dreams.
Prisoners who've been released early have committed crimes or gone to the police in order to then be put back in prison simply because they don't have anywhere to live or they like.
That always happens this time of year with the people on the streets. You ask anyone who's in a local prison around October, November and December, every single year, without a shadow of a doubt, all the homeless people in that city go and commit offences and come into jail for Christmas. And you know what they say? I'm getting a Christmas meal, I've got a roof over my head, I've got heating, I've got a telly, I've got water, and I get looked after. And they do. And every year without fail, the remand wings in prisons get filled up with the homeless lads. That's what they do every year, go in jail for Christmas. It's weird, mate. I'm not lying neither, mate. It's been happening for decades, that. So when it gets really cold in October, you see them kids in your town centre, they just go, you know what, if this, I'm going to jail. There's nowhere else to go for them. How is that? How when you've got people deciding to lose the freedom because they're hungry and cold. It's not good, is it? We've got 15 minutes, let's go a little float. Let's go and knock on a few doors. Knocking at your door. Door number 1, let's see who it brings in. Hope it's not a fucking helmet. Then again, I probably won't get none because my live's restricted, you know, from before. So when I'm trying to get into someone's live, they see the big warning, this live's restricted, So I probably won't get none in, but we'll give it a go. Yes, Mo, lad. Naomi, cowboy. Yeah, it's not having it, people. No one's coming through, mate. Nice one, Louise Bowen, 8 for the GG. Lewis Bowen, lad. No face, thanks, mate. All customers to HMP system, says DM. That's what they are, mate. Everyone that goes into jail is putting 100 grand in someone's pocket every year. And it's not the Mars or Dars. So imagine giving, see that kid that's going to jail, he's been going since he was 14. That kid who's going to jail at 14, he's just done 2 years, he got out when he was 16, right? In them 2 years, the system have just spent close to £250,000 on that one kid. In 2 years, they've just spent close to £250,000 incarcerating that one child at 14 till he was 16. Would it not be better to went, right, mother? There's 50 grand for your kid. He needs to be educated, he needs to be schooled, and he needs to be this. It'd keep him out of jail, wouldn't it? Yeah, so look, you see me as a kid, I was going to jail every year. Every year I'll fail, I'm going back into prison, and the system's having to pay hundreds of grands for me. Why was I going back in the system? For money. Why was I getting back? Why was I going back in the so I could buy clothes and food for myself? Not for big cars or nothing like this. Do you understand what I'm saying?